Hey there, luxury car enthusiasts and budget-conscious drivers. Today, we're diving into the world of Mercedes-Benz to explore the 10 cheapest models money can buy. Who says you need to break the bank to drive a Mercedes? Join me as we uncover these affordable options that offer the prestige and performance of the iconic German automaker. Stick around to the end to find out which model suits your style and budget the best. Let's get started. Number 10. 2020 Mercedes-Benz E350 Sedan. There are a number of reasons you're likely to fall in love with this particular automobile. For starters, it is a truly solid performer that's capable of delivering all the luxury you could ever want and simultaneously being loads of fun to drive. If you've always loved Mercedes because of the design factor, this car will not leave you disappointed. That's great news for the Mercedes purists out there who absolutely can't stand the idea of some of the more affordable modern-day cars that seem to be dialing down on luxury. Yes, even Mercedes has one of those, and it's made this list. However, this popular car is classic Mercedes in both looks and performance. Speaking of performance, it has the very same engine that's become almost synonymous with Mercedes. A 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that's intercooled. It'll get you 255 horsepower, enough to make you feel like you're driving a sports car instead of a sedan. At the same time, it also has excellent handling characteristics, thanks in large part to its responsiveness and rear-wheel drive design. Of course, you can also purchase the car with an available all-wheel drive option. The car also features a massive infotainment touchscreen that has all kinds of custom features. It allows you to make the car yours in the sense that each one can truly become one of a kind. Number 9. 2020 Mercedes-Benz C300 Cabriolet. You get the same type of handling characteristics here that you would expect out of any Mercedes-Benz, thanks to its rear-wheel drive system. It seems repetitive to say that its handling is capable of taking responsiveness to an entirely different level, but that is in fact the case. As far as the engine's concerned, you guessed it, it's the same 2.0-liter turbocharged engine that's used in so many Mercedes automobiles, including the one discussed in the above paragraph. Of course, the luxury factor is off the charts. However, that still doesn't capture everything that makes this particular car special. For starters, it's one of the most strikingly beautiful cars made by the automaker. It certainly doesn't hurt that it's convertible either. The truth of the matter is that any person who has the means to purchase one of these would be doing themselves a favor to do exactly that. Even if you're buying one that's a couple years old, it's still capable of outperforming virtually anything else that you'd buy straight off the showroom floor today. It also has more class. When it's all said and done, it's easy to understand why this is a car that Mercedes aficionados and casual drivers alike absolutely love. As a matter of fact, there's nothing to dislike about this car. It genuinely has everything going for it that you could ever want, often turning people that don't even like to drive into individuals who can't wait to get behind the wheel. Number 8. 2020 Mercedes C-Class Coupe. The C-Class has been a long-standing favorite for Mercedes for a number of years. There are two different versions, the Sedan and the Coupe. The Sedan will be discussed later on, but the Coupe is a car that's capable of getting your attention, even when you're not a car lover. The way that it's designed with its sleek aerodynamic lines and the fact that it sits low to the ground makes it look like a car that's both fast and super luxurious all at the same time. The thing that makes it really special is that it doesn't just look the part, it is actually all of these things and so much more. This is a relatively small car that's designed to enhance your driving experience and take it to the next level. That's accomplished through an automobile that reacts as soon as you give it even the slightest amount of input, all without being touchy in the process. It also has the venerable Mercedes 2.0-liter engine. In this particular case, it's married to a 9-speed transmission that's capable of producing 255 horsepower without even breaking a sweat. That's what translates to a whopping 273 pounds-foot of torque that'll get you wherever you're going in style. Number 7. 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLC. When you think of the 10 most affordable Mercedes in existence, you probably didn't think an SUV would make the list. Then again, you probably didn't think a coupe making the list until you read the above paragraph. In this particular case, you have a compact SUV that has a decent amount of cargo space, just over 18 cubic feet. If you want more, you can fold the rear seats down and it'll give you approximately 49 cubic feet. With that, you can also get an SUV that drives more like a sports car. It has the same engine as all of the other vehicles that have been discussed thus far, and it even produces the same amount of horsepower. A couple of things that this car offers that aren't always so plentiful on SUVs includes acceleration that's almost instantaneous. The car never feels like it's struggling to get where it's going either. When you're trying to merge into heavy traffic, you have the power at your fingertips to put the vehicle where you need it to be exactly when you need it, not several seconds later. That can make all the difference in your driving experience, not to mention your safety. The car also offers better braking and more responsive handling than most of the other SUVs out there. All things considered, it's a real bargain at this price. Number 6. 2020 Mercedes-Benz C-Class Sedan. This is the C-Class Coupe's cousin. It definitely looks like a sedan with its 4 doors, but if you're driving it, you'd probably still think you're behind the wheel of a sports car. Thanks to its 255 horsepower engine, it definitely does not lack power. That being said, it's also the epitome of luxury in every sense of the word. That includes an infotainment display that's more than 10 inches in size, making it one of the largest screens available. It also has dual climate control, heated seat, and remote start. Just in case you're wondering, those heated seats can also be cooled for the warmer months, as can the steering wheel. Number 5. Mercedes-Benz CLA. It might be hard to believe now, but there was a time when the CLA class didn't have the best reputation in the world. Originally, Mercedes had designed it to be a way that people could purchase a Mercedes without spending the type of money that was typically required in order to own one. Everyone thought that it would be a great starter car for the Mercedes brand, if you will. Unfortunately, what became reality was a car that didn't have much to offer in the way of interior design. To make matters even worse, the handling was stiff and unresponsive, culminating in a ride that was so bumpy it could practically beat all the fillings right out of your teeth. It didn't take long for Mercedes to figure out that if the car was going to have any hope of a future, they were going to have to do a massive redesign of the entire automobile. They did exactly that. Today, the car has the same smooth-as-glass ride and luxurious interior as any other Mercedes. It's also powered by the same engine that powers virtually all their vehicles. That definitely caused it to go up in price, but it's still economical enough that it made the list. Number 4. 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLB. There are a few things about this particular compact SUV that some people may not like. For instance, it is a departure from the standard engine that Mercedes uses in almost every vehicle they make. The engine in this vehicle is smaller, and that results in less horsepower. In this particular case, it only has about 221 horsepower. That's considerably less than most other vehicles the company sells. When you're talking about an SUV, that can be performance that isn't terribly inspired. It's especially noticeable when you're trying to accelerate from a standstill, as it takes a considerable amount of time for the car to find its footing. It also has less cargo space by virtue of the fact that it's considerably smaller. However, it does have a few things that people really like, mainly with regard to interior features. In fact, it actually has 2 separate infotainment displays, each of them 7 inches in size. It also features dual-zone climate control and no less than 5 USB ports positioned strategically throughout the vehicle. Just in case you're curious, you can fit a 3rd row of seats into the vehicle, but only if you plan on using it for small children. Number 3. 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLA. Surprisingly, this is actually the smallest SUV made by Mercedes. That being said, you shouldn't let its small size sway your opinion, at least not until you drive one for yourself. It's true, it has less horsepower than most of the other vehicles made by Mercedes. The engine creates 208 horses and 258 foot-pounds of torque. That may not sound like much, but the car doesn't weigh very much either. As a result, it's more than capable of getting you where you want to go without making you feel like you're driving something that's boring you to tears. Even though it's small, it also has a very respectable amount of cargo space and legroom, more than you'd think. The truth is, it's a responsive vehicle that's a lot of fun to drive, and it doesn't take up a lot of space in the driveway. It also gets remarkably good gas mileage, about 38 miles per gallon. Number 2. 2022 Mercedes-Benz A220. For a small car at an entry-level price, this Mercedes has a lot to offer. It's well-designed and has virtually all the same bells and whistles of the interior that you'd expect from any Mercedes. That includes the latest infotainment system, dual-zone climate control, synthetic seats that are both heated and cooled, and updated trim that'll help the car look like it just rolled off the showroom floor for a number of years. If you have anything to complain about where this car is concerned, it's the fact that the engine only produces about 188 horsepower. The car is also rather heavy, weighing more than 3,000 pounds. Obviously, that's going to have a negative impact on fuel economy. As such, this particular car only gets about 29 miles per gallon. If that's something you can live with, then you probably won't mind the drop in horsepower, as the car's small enough and agile enough to get where it needs to go with relative ease. Number 1. 2020 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. The car doesn't necessarily have a great deal of power compared to other Mercedes vehicles, coming in at just 188 horsepower. However, it also costs less than every other Mercedes on the market. This particular price listing may be for the 2020 model, but the same thing still holds true for the latest models available. And there you have it. The top 10 cheapest Mercedes-Benz models that offer luxury, style, and performance at an affordable price. Whether you're looking for a sleek sedan or a versatile SUV, there's a Mercedes-Benz model for every budget. Which Mercedes-Benz model was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the world of affordable luxury. And until next time, happy driving.